Hello guys, I'm so happy today because I've hit my first 10,000 subscribers, all thanks to my dear friends. Love you. Anyway, how was your Halloween? Every single day, so many different things are recorded on camera, but sometimes really disturbing stuff gets captured. Apparently, there are even aliens and dinosaurs on Earth caught on camera before. So, today we're going to be taking a look at the most disturbing things ever caught on camera. Make sure to like and subscribe to stay safe.
1. The Abigail incident. The woman who died in the hallway.
Let's start with a story that will make you never want to work the night shift again. The Abigail incident sounds like an urban legend, but it was recorded on a security camera. What happens if the person you're happily chatting with is actually a spirit who has passed away?
Now, you may not want to watch this after 10 p.m. I'm Stephanie, and I talk about the scary, strange, and paranormal, so if you like that stuff, you come to the right place. There are so many reposts of this video that it's hard to find the source or much information, but what I do know is that this was supposedly filmed in Texas.
Who are you talking to?
I'm talking to a elderly lady. I saw her walking by the store and she said she's looking for Mr. Griffin. Her name is Miss Abigail.
Did you say Miss Abigail?
Yes, ma'am. She says she wants to see Mr. Griffin, and I told her that the canvas is closed, that she should come tomorrow morning, and she might see Mr. Griffin.
Are you sure you're saying Miss Abigail? Like, she's been passed on for 2 years now.
It's really chilling, but like, who is Miss Abigail? Where's the original source of this video? Because it's been posted in I think it was posted back in 2023. I just have so many questions.
Oh my goodness. I would be absolutely terrified if I were that security guard. Imagine talking to someone and later finding out they weren't even alive. That's just me. In my opinion, I think that video was actually real. You could clearly see that black shadow. It might have even been a djinn dragging the man down the hallway. I think I'll switch to working the day shift.
2. Gemini.
A story that was accidentally captured during a live stream of a mother and her daughter. Let's find out what happened, shall we?
They were just sorting through old photo albums and laughing about embarrassing childhood pictures when her 6-year-old daughter suddenly pointed to a faded photograph and said something that made her heart stop.
She was old. She could walk, but she was old. Okay?
Mommy, your grandma's here. And she says, "Hi, Jamila."
She immediately turned off the camera because her daughter had just recognized her late grandmother, calling her Jamila, the special name that only her mother had ever used for her grandmother. But her daughter couldn't possibly know that since her grandmother passed away before she was even born. And she uploaded this footage almost 7 years ago. And even though she's been creating content daily since then, nothing has ever felt as chilling as that moment.
These police officers were called to an accident after reports that a woman had been hit by a train. When they arrived, one of them started recording. That's when they captured something terrifying. What looked like a woman's face staring right at them. Many believe it was the poor soul still lingering there. But what do you think?
This story isn't too scary, because I think if the ghost is my grandmother, they wouldn't harm me and might even protect me. What do you guys think? What if that ghost was your family member? This story makes me believe even more that the spiritual world is real. So, please respect the deceased and don't badmouth them.
3. The Jesse incident.
Have you ever driven home late at night and felt like someone was watching you? The Jesse incident will make you afraid to look in your rearview mirror. A dashcam captured a mysterious figure, and what happened next to the driver is truly a nightmare.
Here is the worst video on the dark web. This video was posted by a man named Jesse, a ghost hunter. According to him, recently residents in his village have occasionally encountered a white figure at night that looks very weird. One day, while driving home, Jesse accidentally encountered that weird figure. It's around 11 p.m. A white female figure was standing in front of his car. At that moment, Jesse could only close the car door tightly and pray. Luckily, The figure just stood there, looking towards his car for a long time, and then, strangely, disappeared.
That's terrifying. If you were him, would you dare to keep driving? Or would you sit in the car and pray? Anyway, it's a bit weird if you don't see a ghost on such a pitch-black road.
4. The Jacob incident. Hit by a train.
We all love music and AirPods, but we need to remember that the world isn't always as safe as we think. This next incident is a horror story of survival, but also a testament to the terrible carelessness of the railway company.
In 2017, Jacob Ohl was walking along train tracks with earbuds on when he suddenly sensed but didn't hear a train approaching from behind him. Jacob was at least 1,000 feet away from the train when the conductor first saw him, but they did not ring the train's bell, blow the train's horn, or apply the emergency brake before hitting Jacob. The train hit Jacob, resulting in the train severing both of his legs below the knee. Jacob then acted quickly, and despite both of his legs being severed and in an insane amount of pain, he immediately called 911 and remained completely calm while providing crucial information that saved his life. It also took the train a half mile to come to a complete stop after hitting Jacob. Jacob filed a lawsuit and claimed the CSX train did not put up fencing or other warning devices to keep pedestrians a safe distance from the tracks. This situation is just insane, and I can't believe despite both of his legs being severed, he managed to still call 911 and save his own life. He may never have legs again, but at least he still has a life to live.
911, this is the location of your emergency.
I just got hit by a train.
Okay, where are you?
I'm off the path of the park in downtown Melbourne.
Okay, were you walking or were you driving?
No, I was walking.
Okay, but you're okay? Like you sound like you're...
No.
Okay, are you still on the tracks?
No.
Is there anybody around you that you can
I don't see
flag down?
No.
Okay, hold on a second. I'm going to try and figure out where you are, okay?
Okay.
And you're off the tracks, correct?
Yes.
Okay. How old are you, sir?
17.
And what part of your body was hurt?
My legs.
Okay. Are they broken?
I think it cut them off.
It cut them off?
Oh, his voice sounded really calm. That's truly admirable. But still, guys, never walk on railroad tracks. It's super dangerous and not something to mess around with. And do you know what urban legend this story reminds me of? A girl who got hit by a train and lost her lower half. I dare you to guess what creature that is.
5. The cave incident. Nutty Putty Cave.
This is the entrance to one of the most dangerous caves on Earth. A twisting clay-lined labyrinth where the walls grip like wet concrete and the passages narrow to the size of a coffin. A cave so lethal it was sealed forever with a man still inside. This is the story of Nutty Putty Cave.
This is the entrance to one of the most dangerous caves on Earth, a twisting clay-lined labyrinth where the walls grip like wet concrete and the passages narrow to the size of a coffin. A cave so lethal it was sealed forever with a man still inside. This is the story of Nutty Putty Cave. Welcome to a series that I'm calling Scientifically Interesting Ways to Die. On November 24th of 2009, John Edward Jones entered Nutty Putty Cave with his brother Josh and a group of family and friends. The group made their way to the cave's largest chamber, the Big Slide. From there, John and a few others, all experienced cavers, decided to explore a feature called the Birth Canal, a tight but navigable passage leading down to a larger room. Thinking he'd found the birth canal, John mistakenly entered an unmapped crevice. He slid headfirst into a narrow 70-degree downward tunnel that quickly shrank to just 10 inches high and 18 inches wide. Expecting it to open up into a larger area beyond, he pushed deeper, and although his chest passed a tight lip in the rock, his hips caught, and he was wedged, head down, arms pinned to his side, unable to move. The human circulatory system is adapted to work with gravity. When upright, blood pools in the legs and muscle contractions plus one-way valves help push it back to the heart. Upside down, that system begins to fail. Blood pools in the upper body and the heart now works against gravity to circulate blood to a higher elevation than it was designed for. It took rescuers 3 hours to reach John, but a rope couldn't budge him. Instead, a complex pulley system was slowly assembled, a process that had worked before, but this time the clock was ticking. As blood pressure rose in John's upper body, baroreceptors in the carotid arteries triggered a reflex to slow his heart, a system that normally helps stabilize high blood pressure, but in this case added strain to a system that was already beginning to fail. The left ventricle vehicle now faced increased resistance, known as afterload, as it struggled to pump blood against the elevated pressure and the loss of gravity-assisted circulation. Meanwhile, blood pooled in John's upper lungs, areas less efficient at gas exchange. Making things worse, his abdominal organs were now pressing down on his diaphragm, further restricting his breathing. His oxygen levels began to drop and his breaths became shallow and ineffective. Not great when you're trying to remain calm in a confined space. 19 hours in and the pulley was finally ready, but John could no longer assist in his own rescue. He had begun hallucinating and his legs were numb from lack of circulation. Rescuers managed to pull him high enough to see his face, but his body was still firmly wedged in this position. There was talk of breaking his legs to extract him, but before a decision could be made, a key anchor failed, the pulley slipped, and John slid deeper into the rock. Efforts to free him continued, but there were no options left. Over the next few hours, his lungs, restricted by the cave and crushed by his own organs, stopped drawing breath. His heart, overworked and outmatched, finally failed. After 27 hours upside down, John died from cardiac arrest caused by positional asphyxia and circulatory collapse. Following John's death, Nutty Putty Cave was permanently sealed, a tomb carved by water and closed by tragedy. If you like science and now understand that there are some holes that you just shouldn't enter, follow for more.
Following John's death, Nutty Putty Cave was permanently sealed, a tomb carved by water and closed by tragedy. If you like science and now understand that there are some holes that you just shouldn't enter, follow for more.
6. The Tyler Turner incident. When skydiving becomes tragedy.
Do you dare to bet your life on a stranger? For Tyler Turner, his first skydive became a terrible tragedy for an unacceptable reason. His instructor was a fraud. Let's find out the details of this disaster in the sky.
It is haunting video of an 18-year-old making his first parachute jump while his mother watched. His chute never opened.
Tyler Turner was thrilled to go skydiving. Fighting back nerves, the 18-year-old taped this video minutes before heading into the air.
My name is Tyler Turner.
What are you doing here?
I am going to jump out of a plane.
It's your first time.
First time indeed.
His mom Francine was there to see him off.
That's my mom over there. Hello. Very loving mom. Done a lot for me in my life.
Here he is as he makes the big jump. Tragically, the parachute never opened. Tyler plummeted 13,000 feet to his death, attached to his tandem instructor, who was not certified and was also killed.
I saw the ambulances and sheriffs and police, fire engine, all that stuff was in the distance, and I could see all the lights going. I thought, oh my gosh, my son is hurt.
Tyler had a bright future ahead of him. He was looking forward to starting college with a full scholarship.
An unacceptable tragedy. The instructor who was supposed to keep him safe was a fake. It's sad that no amount of money can ever bring her son back. I really want to go skydiving once, but now I will definitely reconsider.
7. The birthday cake incident.
Today, we're going to tell the story of a girl named Eli, who had to pay with blood and a permanent scar on her face, all because of her own birthday cake.
Because of her own birthday cake, Eli lost a friend and almost lost her life. Today is Eli's birthday, and she went home with her 3 best friends to celebrate. The parents made the cake with love and then left the room, wanting to leave some space for the children. In a joyful atmosphere, Eli made a wish. As she smiled and blew out the candle, something unexpected happened. One of her friends suddenly pressed her face into the cake. 3 seconds later, Eli fell to the ground and didn't move again. Friends thought it was just a joke and excitedly urged her to get up, but to everyone's shock, blood began to seep out of the cake. Originally, there were some small toothpicks hidden in the cake, one of which pierced Eli's face straight. After hearing the screams, the parents rushed into the room, and the scene in front of them made them extremely frightened. They had no choice but to immediately call the emergency number. Fortunately, medical staff arrived in time and successfully saved Eli's life. However, a scar remained on her face forever. After the incident, Eli's parents took her friends to court, but as they were only 15 years old, they did not receive any punishment in the end.
A shocking end to a crazy joke. Just because of a moment of carelessness, Eli has to carry that wound and scar for the rest of her life. While her friends didn't receive any legal punishment, what do you think those girls should be punished with? Smashing the cake back in her face? No, please don't do that. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow so I can keep protecting you from these creepy mysteries. Thanks for watching, my dear friends. See you in the next video. Bye.